a lot of health and safety issues that might feel overwhelming. You might see things in the news, you might see things on social media, or they might even be spoken about by your friends. But there's one topic that we don't hear about very often, and that's abuse of nitrous oxide. This is in the news because of a recent lawsuit where a 39-year-old Florida woman died after using recreational nitrous oxide, which is also called Whippets. Now, if you've ever had a minor medical procedure or certain kinds of dental work, you've probably had nitrous oxide. And that's because it's used in doctor's offices and dental offices every day. It is overwhelmingly safe when used properly and at the correct dosage. Medical professionals and dental professionals know how to use nitrous oxide, and they use it as a form of anesthesia for their patients. One reason why nitrous oxide is a preferred form of anesthesia in medical settings is because it dulls pain, it dulls anxiety, and as soon as it's finished, it has a very short life within the patient, and the patient feels better and loses the effects of the nitrous oxide pretty quickly. If you've worked in a restaurant type of environment, you might have seen nitrous oxide canisters there too. Also an appropriate use of this substance. Nitrous oxide is used for making whipped cream, whipping yogurt, or other kinds of desserts and other kinds of foods. If you have a can of whipped cream in your refrigerator or whipped yogurt or something like that, chances are nitrous oxide is listed as an ingredient in those products. And if that's the case, it is perfectly safe. Again, nitrous oxide is not inherently harmful. It is inherently harmful when abused. So Whippets are small canisters that a person can buy either in smoke or vape shops. They can buy them online. They can buy them at other types of retail establishments. Where these become dangerous is because the user doesn't know how to use it appropriately. As I mentioned, one of the reasons why doctors like nitrous oxide is because it lasts for just a short time in the patient's body. But that's why when a recreational user uses it, they get a quick hit of nitrous oxide, it makes them feel good for a short time, but then they lose the effect and they're doing it again and again and again. That's what happened to 39-year-old Meg Caldwell in Florida. She died because of overuse of nitrous oxide. She was using Whippets, sometimes hundreds of times a day, until her body could no longer tolerate the substance. When used inappropriately in recreational circumstances, Whippets can be very dangerous. The way nitrous oxide works is it cuts off oxygen to your brain. And in a medical setting, that's important and beneficial, but for recreational use, it's very dangerous. So now the Caldwell family has filed a lawsuit against several Florida vape shops and other retailers where Meg would buy her nitrous oxide Whippets. The reason is because they're trying to raise awareness that there should be warnings and precautions and instructions on Whippets so that recreational users understand the dangers and know how to use them properly if they're going to be used at all. Whippets are not meant to be taken one after another after another. They need to be used sparingly, and probably recreational use in any form isn't such a great idea in the first place. But the Caldwell family filed the lawsuit because they believe that she did not understand the dangers of Whippets because the products were not appropriately labeled and there were no warnings from the vape shops or the places where she purchased them online, warning her that overuse of Whippets was going to be dangerous and potentially fatal. After she died, these shops continue to sell these products, sometimes to kids, sometimes to adults, but always to people who don't necessarily understand their dangers. That's why this lawsuit is important. It's raising awareness of an issue that not a lot of people understand or know about, and they don't know the dangers of Whippets. We'll see how it all plays out in the courts. But for now, it's important to know that if you or someone you care about has suffered negative effects from using recreational nitrous oxide, otherwise known as Whippets, you can contact a personal injury lawyer for guidance if you believe that you might be eligible to file a lawsuit.